and I'm going to show you the first one now. Now, I stumbled upon this little trick after about 3 years of lame, embarrassing, cheesy pickup lines that I read about online or from experts on TV. I even tried asking women what to do and say. I figured, if anyone is going to know what I should say, it's a woman, right? However, following their advice was the worst thing I've ever done. Sure, some of the stuff that women told me to say was sweet, but I quickly discovered that what women tell you they want and what they really want are two completely different things. And before I knew it, I'd gone from having no women to knowing a few who all thought that I was a nice guy. I would answer their drunken phone calls at 3 a.m. and listen to them complain about their ex-boyfriends that they were still hooking up with, of course. I was taking time off work to help them move. I was doing everything that should work. I thought that if I was always there for them, if I bought them dinner, if I showed them my sensitive side, that they'd realize how rare of a man I really was, that I was a good guy, because that's what other women told me to do. But instead of graduating to the playboy that I envisioned, hot women personally inviting me to their house parties, asking me to come over without notice so they can live out their fantasies with me, or openly sharing me with their other hot girlfriends with voracious sexual appetites so I could quench their thirsts. Well, instead, I'd become something more like this. I was like an emotional tampon. I was just there for them to bleed on and then discard whenever they wanted it. It was embarrassing. These women didn't think of me in that way. And I thought what any man would have thought in that situation. I had done everything that I was supposed to do, and I failed. I thought for sure that I was defective. But then I discovered something weird, the one missing piece of the puzzle. And just 2 weeks later, I was banging all 3 of the chicks that were once stringing me along with no interest in me other than to keep me hoping so they didn't feel undesired and lonely. It was the missing truth about attracting women that made all the difference for me. But if you fell into the same nice guy trap that I did, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to change your methods and do what actually works. So, what is it that actually works? Well, after my lame, unsuccessful attempt at upping my game, I decided to start from scratch. So I went to a bar every night for a week and just watched dudes with good game. I probably took 50 pages of notes the first night alone. I even went up to guys after they approached girls and asked them what they did. I was determined to figure out how a normal guy like me could have these superpower skills with women. Well, finally I got one of the guys with game drunk enough to tell me what he was doing, and what he said changed my life forever. He said, "Well, dude, it's really simple. Your hesitation is her reservation. Think of it this way. She wants an experienced man, a guy who knows what to do and what to say. So if you hesitate, she'll know that you're inexperienced, and she'll reject you immediately. And she'll treat you like an absolute wuss bag. But if you know what to say, and you go for it without hesitation, every girl will want you." Well, that was all fine, but what if you don't know what to say? What if every time you go to open your mouth, nothing comes out? How do you fix that? Well, when I asked him, he told me the most retardedly obvious and brilliantly simple thing in the world. He said, "Well, dude, just memorize a few proven things to say and then say those things when your mind goes blank." Holy I couldn't believe I never thought of that. So he gave me something to say, and the next day I decided to try it out. And it worked. Unbelievably well. I'll reveal what that line was in just a minute, but after that moment, I became hooked. I started researching every pickup line I could find to test them out, and within a week, I had 5 tested and proven lines that worked. And by the end of the following week, I had used them with the girls that didn't think of me in that way, and they all started sleeping with me at once. But the thing to remember here is that A, I'm a normal dude. I'm short, I'm physically weak, I'm balding, and I'm definitely not well endowed, but I learned a few proven things to say when my mind goes blank. B, hesitation turns women off. If you're going to hesitate, you might as well take a dump right there on the floor, because nothing you can do will make her attracted to you once you hesitate. And C, if you want to destroy hesitation and attract really hot women, you have to know what to say ahead of time that works. So when your mind goes blank, when you're talking to a chick, You have a backup plan that is proven to create intrigue and make her want you. Now, as promised, I'm going to tell you the first line I used that actually worked that led me to discover what is now my most prized possession, my long running list of psychologically proven lines. But before I do, there's something that I need to expose about how to use pickup lines in the first place. You see, the biggest misconception about pickup lines is that there's one line you can use in any situation. But if that were true, then every guy would be saying that one line all of the time. And if that line existed, don't you think at least one guy would have discovered it by now? Hell yeah, he would have discovered it by now. But the truth is that a line will only work if you use it in the right context. For example, the line that the drunk player told me to say that night at the bar was, "Did you come all the way over here just to hit on me?" Now, when used in the right context, and I promise it's probably not what you're thinking, it's like horny catnip for women. But if you walk up to a woman on the street during the daytime and say that, she'll probably mace you and clutch her purse and tear. You have to know what to say in the most common scenarios that you'll see women in. There aren't that many of them, about 5 or 6. But once you know them, you're unstoppable at picking up chicks. Your friends will invite you to every party they go to so they can watch you do your thing. Your bed will experience a new, hot, sweaty, horny girl every night. And the women, well, they will love you for it. Remember, women want an experienced man, and though you may not have a ton of experience now, things get a whole lot easier when you know you can walk down to a bar at any moment, pluck the sexiest girl from the place like she's a piece of fruit, and devour her entirely. And best of all, if you know a girl already that you want to get physical with, it will activate the sexuality between the two of you, and all of a sudden, sparks will fly. So now you know the truth. You know that hesitation makes you look like an inexperienced wuss. You know that the only way to kill hesitation is to have what to say ready to go ahead of time. And you now know that you have to know different, proven lines to say for each situation you're in. And in just a minute, I'm going to reveal the 3 worst but very common pickup lines that you should never say